We have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. This is your Week 17 2023 prediction and preview video. Hit subscribe button if you're new. Also hit the like button. Let's start off with the Seattle Seahawks because they are the home team. Last week was a very weird win over the Tennessee Titans. Geno Smith was 25 of 36. 227 passing yards for 2 passing touchdowns. And this team has been in a weird situation in the back half of the season. They went 7 straight quarters without scoring an offensive touchdown. And then when they went against the Dallas Cowboys, they had an offensive eruption in that game. Geno Smith went down, and then they had to depend on Drew Lock against the Philadelphia Eagles, and they won that game. And this game against the Steelers, it is going to be tough because their front seven is so good. But if they come out and they give Geno Smith good protection, they could win this game. But last week was a very good indicator that this team can make adjustments on the fly. The red zone offense has been very inconsistent throughout this season. And you look at what happened last week. They didn't get things going until late in the fourth quarter. Kenneth Walker III did have 54 rushing yards on 16 attempts. That was 3.4 rushing yards a carry against the Steelers defense. They have been able to stop running backs out the backfield. Their run defense has been solid here and there because of all the injuries that they've been dealing with at the middle linebacker position. But get Kenneth Walker III out of the backfield, throw the football to him, and try to get some things going in short yardage situations. You can also get some deep balls on this team as well if the offensive line protection is good up front with Geno Smith, because you do have Abraham Lucas and you do have Charles Cross, but you're guarding against TJ Watt, and you're also going to be going against Alex Highsmith as well. The key to victory in this game is to take care of the football, make adjustments on the fly with the offense, and just feed DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. You look at the Steelers secondary. Micah Fitzpatrick is questionable for this game, and the corners have given up some big plays here and there, but it's primarily to guys like Jackson Smith and Jigba who can take over a game like how he did against the Philadelphia Eagles. Take care of the football, use Kenneth Walker III out of the backfield, and make sure the offensive line protection is good up front. Now let's talk about the defense of the Seattle Seahawks. They've been very good in the last couple of games. The pass rush has been consistent. Jordan Brooks and Bobby Wagner have been very good run-stopping linebackers. When you go against the Steelers team with Mason Rudolph, who will be the starting quarterback for this game, that what the reports are saying, you want to stop the run, but you also want to be conscientious of this as well. He will let the football go into open space like how he did last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. You have to pay attention to George Pickens and Deontay Johnson. You can crowd the line of scrimmage early in the game, but be very careful with doing that, because if you leave George Pickens on an island, he can run past some corners and he can make things hard on you on the back end. Julian Love has been a phenomenal safety the last couple games with this team ever since Jamal Adams has been out, and Quandre Diggs has been solid as well. In this game, put a lot of pressure on Mason Rudolph, stop that run game, and make this Steelers team one-dimensional. Make them a passing team and make Mason Rudolph beat you over and over again. And if that does happen, then you can alter your game plan with Pete Carroll and your defensive coordinator to go out there and just try to help out the secondary as much as possible. But early on in this game, make Mason Rudolph prove that he can read NFL defenses and can put the ball into tight windows. He did a very good job of that last week against Cincinnati Bengals, but play this team tougher and also watch out for that run game as well. The Steelers offense is better when Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris are both getting things going. Then they can work off play action. Just make the offense one-dimensional. It's going to come down to Tariq Woolen and Devin Witherspoon, who is questionable in this game. You also have Jordan Brooks, who is questionable in this game as well. Now let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a team that has had a lot of offensive struggles in the last couple of games, but last week was a complete dominant affair for this team, how they looked against the Cincinnati Bengals. They beat them 34-11, and Mason Rudolph had a career day. He was 17 of 27 for 290 passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns. And Najee Harris has 78 rushing yards, averaged 4 yards a carry, and 1 rushing touchdown. This was a great game for this team, and it was one of the best games in George Pickens' career. Easily the best game in his NFL career. He had 195 receiving yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. In this game, get George Pickens the football as much as possible. This has been a very solid Seattle Seahawks defense, but at times they will give up big plays. You want to keep that momentum going from what happened from last week. You do want to run the football with Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren and get Jaylen Warren in the space as well. Jaylen Warren is more than just a pure running back with this team. He could catch the football at the backfield, while Najee Harris is that bruiser type of running back, and Jaylen Warren has that sideline-to-sideline speed. You're going to have to find a way to slow down Jordan Brooks and Bobby Wagner in this game. Go out there, use crossing routes, and get those wide receivers open as much as possible. Mason Rudolph did have some overthrows in the game last week, a major one to Deontay Johnson to where he got wide open, but you were going against one of the worst passing defenses in the NFL. Work off of play action, get the football to Pat Freiermuth, George Pickens, and to Deontay Johnson, and you can be in a very good situation. This is going to be a very pivotal game for both teams because the Seattle Seahawks right now are in that wild card spot and the Pittsburgh Steelers on the outside looking in right now. If the Steelers can win this game, that will give them a better chance to make the playoffs, and the same for the Seattle Seahawks as well. So this is going to have a very good playoff atmosphere to it, even though both of these teams are in two different conferences. They're fighting for their playoff lives right now. And to speak of the defense for the Steelers, last week was a great day for this team. You held the Cincinnati Bengals to 11 points. You stopped T. Higgins for majority of the game, and Alex Highsmith was all over the place. He had an interception, and he also had a very good sack in this game as well. Same with TJ Watt. He was phenomenal. They forced Jake Brown to throw 3 interceptions in that game. Minka Fitzpatrick is questionable for this game. He missed last week dealing with that knee injury that he suffered against the Indianapolis Colts, and this is still a banged up Steelers defense. But they made very good adjustments. They put Patrick Peterson at the safety position. He came away with an interception. They also had Eric Rowe play at the safety position as well. If Minka Fitzpatrick is not able to play, continue to run those two guys at safety and have Levi Wallace at the cornerback position with Joy Porter Jr. Joy Porter Jr. has had a lot of good snaps with this team this season, but he has had the second most penalties at that cornerback position. He needs to stop holding this much, especially going against guys like DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. You do not just want to sell out completely on DK Metcalf, because then you're going to be leaving guys on the island to guard Jackson Smith-Njigba and Tyler Lockett. It is going to be tough, but it's going to come down to that front seven of Cameron Hayward, Alex Highsmith, and TJ Watt. If they can completely come out and take over the game, they're going to be in a very good situation. Just make sure the secondary doesn't have to hold up for as long as they did last week. Run a lot of zone coverage, because if you put DK Metcalf in man coverage with no safety help, he can run past any one of the corners on this team, and especially Joy Porter Jr., because he likes to get handsy with the wide receivers. It's going to come down to who can take the better care of the football and who can score the most in this game. This is going to be an offensive eruption in this game, and it's going to be a very good football game. With that being said, I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this game 28-24. But let me know in the comment section below, who do you have win this game, the Seattle Seahawks or the Pittsburgh Steelers? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Have a blessed day, guys. Peace.